Dan selamat petang. Terima kasih saya ucapkan kepada tuan-tuan dan puan-puan sekalian kerana sudi hadir kepada program Meet the Artist bersempena pameran Visual Dialect. Saya tak nak melengah-lengah masa sangat sebab apa kita pun ada lebih kurang 1 jam setengah. So this session will be conducted bilingually. So if you think that you want to speak in English, we can allow that. Of course, in BM as well. Unless you guys know bahasa Bajau. Okay? Okay. So we have the expert here. Okay. Together in this session, we have 3 panelists, distinguished panelists. We have Mrs. Sarah Vogeler, the curator of Visual Dialects, and then 2 selected artists for the exhibition. Each panelist will talk about 15 to 20 minutes, and then we open for Q&A. So without further ado, I will let Ms. Sarah Vogeler to actually introduce herself, and then of course to explain about how she curated the exhibition Visual Dialect, please.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you for staying with us for the second session. My name is Sarah N.H. Vogeler, and I am the guest curator for the current show that you see right now, Visual Dialects, Cultural Ties That Bind, which actually ends tomorrow. So if you do have the time to walk through, and if you have any questions later, I'll be available to take you through a curatorial walkthrough. First, I would like to, before I begin, I would like to introduce the 2 artists who are very much involved with Visual Dialects. On my left, we have Dr. Zaimie Sahibil, who is also a lecturer, an academician from University Malaysia Sabah. Yes, he heads the Faculty of Art, yeah, Dr. Zaimie? Faculty of Art for about berapa tahun sekarang? 12 tahun? 12 tahun, ya? 12 tahun. And apart from being a painter and a lecturer, Dr. Zaimie also does quite a lot of projects on the Bajau Laut community. He himself is a Bajau Laut boy, or we call it Bajau Sama, from Kota Belud. Kudat, from Kudat. And Dr. Zaimie has, throughout the years, given a lot of his time and effort in order to preserve the cultural heritage of the Bajau people, Bajau Laut people. We'll talk more about that later on. And also, we are very, very fortunate to have Mr. Chang Ming, who is, I think for people who are familiar with the Malaysian art scene, would not be a stranger to Chang Ming, who has been painting for more than, 3 decades? 30 tahun ada? Ada? Chang Ming is based in Kuala Terengganu, but also divides his time in his studio in Bali. But he also spends an extensive amount of time traveling around the Indonesian islands for his research projects. Just jalan-jalan, makan angin. But also, both Dr. Zaimie Sahibil and Chang Ming presents about 5 works collectively. Dr. Zaimie has 3 works called the Pasak Bumi series, which we will speak about in a while. And Chang Ming has 2 entries, which is Kak Long Balik Rumah Hari Ni and Friday. I think Kak Long Balik Rumah Hari Ni was done in 97, yeah? Around that time. Before we begin speaking to the artists, let me just share a little bit with the audience about the making of Visual Dialects, Cultural Ties That Bind. The project first started in January this year, and it was finally shown to the public on the 18th of April, and it ends tomorrow, so it's about 3.5 months. And the processes of this particular show was actually quite a simple one. We wanted to show the cultural similarities and diversities in this country, from all 13 states. So what we did was we segmented the show into 6, starting from non-chronologically, of course, because we found that to be too rigid and unyielding. We wanted a more fluid experience as you go through the show. So you can actually start from Sabah and Sarawak, or you can actually start from the beginning, Johor and Pahang. So it's segmented into 6, starting from Johor and Pahang, and all the way down to Sabah and Sarawak. And we have a special section on black and white photography by artists like Eric Paris, Arthur Tang, Soraya Talismail, Ismail Hashim, and several more, and Sultan Nasruddin Shah as well, all done in black and white. In this particular show, we question about aspects of art and sustainability, or in Malay, seni dan kemampanan, and all of these works. Well, mostly, I would say 60% of these works, Badrol, have not been seen by the public before, yeah?
Unless you are the regular visitor to PCMC.
Yes, yes, that. But
Principal Medical Center.
but the works are all here now. And most of them have not been viewed by the public. So we're quite thrilled and excited about that, to show you the different aspects of Malaysian culture, heritage, customs and traditions, and also history. So throughout the show, you will see a lot of fishing vessels. You will see a lot of buffaloes. The show actually opens with a buffalo by Ahmad Zaki Anwar, which I always call the Penglipo Lara, the storyteller of the show. If you look at the painting closely, because of Anwar's background as an illustrator, the buffalo seems a little distant. He's actually looking balefully at the audience and saying to us, "Come into my world, and I will show you what my country is all about." And as we progress into the show, we will see more of these fishing vessels. We will see trishaws, the chendol seller. We will see paintings in different mediums, especially what we want to put forward is batik cloth painting done by the late Ismail Mat Hussein, which portrays the demarcation of power within men and women and their duties and responsibilities. So there's so much here to see, but I only have 10 minutes, and I think 8 minutes have gone by. So we will start with Dr. Zaimie Sahibil. Yeah?
Before you go to actually meet the artist.
Yeah.
So maybe you can elaborate much further on the title itself, the visual dialects. How can you see? Normally dialect relates to language.
Yes, normally, yes.
How visual relates to dialect?
Yes. Visual dialects, when you talk about visuals, it's always about the eye. Yeah, it's always about the eye. It's always about something that you read. In this particular exhibition, it's also what we want to put forward. It's actually a historical documentation of our country, done visually also, but by utilizing paintings, which is also another form of dialect, of speaking and receiving, which is why we chose that particular title. And cultural ties that bind is quite obvious because of the similarities and dissimilarities in the cultures that span across the 13 states in Malaysia. So shall we? Yeah. We'll now begin with Dr. Zaimie Sahibil, who has a series of works called Pasak Bumi, Pasak Bumi. And this is actually based on his experiences in as a member of the Bajau Laut community. He is a true-born, true-blue Bajau Laut boy, and one of the few who has attained an education up to his PhD and done a lot of research. So Dr. Zaimie also gives back to his community, yes, quite regularly, by attempting and doing a very successful job at elevating the standard of education for the Bajau Laut community and also its occupants. Yeah? But let's speak about your paintings, Dr. Zaimie. Dalam siri Pasak Bumi, Dr. Zaimie menggunakan simbol piramid, ya, sebagai gunung, dan juga pasak, ya, sebab pasak menguatkan lagi gunung tersebut. Dan sebagai seorang anak Bajau, the Bajau Laut ataupun Sea Gypsies, ya, Sea Gypsies, Dr. Zaimie, Gunung Kinabalu tu digunakan sebagai sebuah kompas. Ya, bila orang-orang Bajau, bila mereka menaiki sampan, ya, mereka tidak menggunakan kompas. They do not use compasses. Instead, they use the mountain as their compass. So anywhere they go throughout the sea, they are never lost. So I'm going to hand this over to Dr. Zaimie to further elaborate on the painting. Please, Dr. Zaimie.
Thank you, Sarah, Chang, Ming, and Bad. Okay, before I start my series, the Pasak Bumi series, is a shock series. Shock series is a talk about the middleman. Dia camouflage with a Bajau Laut, dia menutup Bajau Laut. And then I have a series, Green Turtle series, talk about the long life. Saya ada series, Underwater Illusion series, talk about the pollution. Yang the latest I have the new series, Cross the Boundaries series. Cross the Boundaries series is talk about the Bajau Laut people migrating to Borneo, but in the semi-abstract. So today I just elaborate my painting, the Pasak Bumi. Okay, the Pasak Bumi, the series, I got the idea is if I follow my father crew, go traveling in middle Borneo and Philippines. So no have a sign how do they come back to our kampung, our village. So I asked to my uncle. My uncle already passed away three years ago. My uncle, they're traveling from Sandakan to Kudat is around 1 day, 1 night by boat. And very low tide, or the water sea that time. But there's not follow the international sea, but they follow near to the coast. And then how to their traveling, no compass, a lot the coral there. Bajau Laut believe they just see at the night they see the star, and there they see just mountain. They mark the mountain. They mark the mountain. But in the different meaning, my Pasak Bumi is talk about the Pasak Bumi. So I got the mountain to I elaborate metaphor to the pyramid form, because pyramid is the one human made the design is very stable. Kita terbalikan dia tetap stabil. And then Pasak is a piling. Even this building pun stand by Pasak. It's called Pasak. Okay, yeah. Okay. Jadi dia punya konsep selain daripada Bajau Laut, I petik beberapa ayat daripada Al-Quran. Saya mencari di antara perkataan gunung dalam Al-Quran terlalu banyak bercerita tentang gunung. So salah satu petikan dia, gunung ialah akan daripada gunung ni dia akan menghidupkan tumbuh-tumbuhan binatang di sekeliling dia. Itu yang first. Kedua, gunung dalam masyarakat Sabah dia adalah suci, di mana dia believe all the raw akan bersemadi di puncak Gunung Kinabalu. Why? Gunung Kinabalu meletup baru-baru dia Philip, bila turis dia nude dekat atas. So dia marahlah. Okey, dalam konteks ini dia akan berbalik kepada fitrah manusia. Setiap manusia dia harus berpegang. Example macam I Muslim, I kena berpegang pada Muslim sebagai pegangan. Sama juga dengan piramid tadi, dia berpegang pada pasak. So kalau perpaduan, kalau sesuatu masyarakat, dia mesti berpegang pada perpaduan. This is the main concept dari situ. Tapi dalam konteks bajau laut, idea is come from bajau laut, dia satu mark. Di mana kalau kita ke Pulau Banggit, dia allot the island, dia put mark, something like Pulau Tigabu. Pulau Tigabu near to my islands. Why they call Pulau Tigabu? Dalam bajau laut language, bu ialah gunung, bukit. So that islands memang dia ada tiga bukit. Dia akan tanda. Even from the Ubian del Sur Island, dia middle Philippines and Borneo, dia langsung tidak nampak, tapi dia boleh tahu di arah ke sana. So dia hanya bergantung pada gunung. That's about the laut lah. Thank you.
Okay, sebelum tu kan, if you can really elaborate further on the medium of art, painting, with the very much knowledge of your society, on your family itself, how do you see yourself or even the community of your kampung with the mode of art, painting? How do they see that? Because kita tahu tadi saya berborak dengan Encik Yue, ada satu filem laut daripada Filipin, bagaimana masyarakat keluarga bajau ni dipindahkan ke Manila, kemudian jadi satu benda yang sangat cultural shock lah. So in this case, how do you see yourself? Is it the practice itself become something yang alienated ataupun macam mana?
Okay, lepas saya habis Dr. Falsafah 5 tahun yang lalu, I remember what my late father, dia talk to me, kalau you dah berjaya, tolong bawa you punya sibling go back to the island and start develop. Saya tak faham. I'm not understand what they say. So I duduk dan fikir benda tu, baru saya terfikir bahawa dia nak my people, my community ada kelangsungan sustainable ke depan. Selepas tahun 70-an, masyarakat bajau laut di pesisiran pantai semua migran near to the bandar, near to bandar. So dia akan jadi masalah culture shock, masalah banyak. So I start bawa balik ke pulau, and then what they doing, mereka memang tiada duit. Dia orang bergantung totally is from laut. So I guna saya punya duit sendiri. Even my gaji every month, saya peruntukkan 1,000 untuk bantu mereka every month kat pulau. I start from my family dulu. From my family. And then every month, saya akan masuk. So, kalau kita nak mengubah sesuatu bangsa, especially bajau laut, engkau tak boleh letakkan dia masyarakat bajau laut, engkau tak boleh letakkan dia kat bandar. Sebab itu, bila diorang bangunkan Pulau Banggit, that time masa Pak La, dia bangunkan agromopolitan. Dia suruh bajau laut tanam getah, pokok getah ya. It's not reason lah. Sepatutnya dia bangunkan Pulau Banggit dengan eco-marine tourism. That's my. So di Pulau I saya start, di mana saya, because sea cucumber is very expensive. So I buat farm. I sendiri buat farm dekat pulau tu. All the budget saya keluarkan buat farm. Sejak tahun lepas, diorang sudah loading 2 kali. Sekali loading dalam 30K. So dia boleh continue balik. Tapi dari segi, saya melihat ya, sumbangan saya sebenarnya bukan saya. Tapi sumbangan tu daripada mereka kepada saya, and I return back. Because a lot of sources I got from the bajau laut for my artwork. So saya percaya daripada mereka. And then one thing I selalu terfikir, normally Malaysian people, dia 60 tahun je hidup normally on average. Selepas itu tak tahu. Jadi saya sudah 50, meaning saya ada 10 tahun lagi. So saya tidak perlu lagi cari duit. Kalau saya kumpul duit pun saya akan mati. Kalau bini saya masih ada, boleh dia kahwin lagi kan. Tapi saya percaya saya dah cukup. Tuhan, saya syukur pada Tuhan, saya dah cukup. Dengan gaji saya sebagai head of department and painting saya sudah cukup. So saya guna itu untuk bawa balik ke sana. Tapi Tuhan itu maha adil. Setiap yang kita bagi, Tuhan akan bagi berlipat ganda. Saya tidak pernah putus. Saya tak pernah putus rezeki. Jadi apa yang saya buat untuk bajau laut, every month, untuk masuk ke tempat bajau laut, bukannya kita datang macam sini naik Grab pergi balai seni lukis. I perlu travel pakai 4x4. Saya punya 4x4 upgrade dengan enjin 15 BT. Faham tak main 4x4 15 BT ni? 15 BT ni fully turbo. Semua guna Excel, it's not ARM. Dia boleh masuk dalam apa keadaan pun. So saya akan bawa especially food, beras, gula. It's very simple lah food bagi mereka supaya mereka tidak akan keluar dan dia stop yang tradisional punya tangkap ikan. Sebab dia tangkap ikan, dia makan. For tomorrow dia tangkap lagi. Sekarang tidak. I suruh dia buat sangkar, pelihara si kekamba, dan si kekamba ni kita hantar ke Hong Kong. Masyarakat ni. Jadi saya akan masuk every month, bawa makanan supaya dia orang tidak fikir about the food, but dia fikir pada dia punya project. Dan latest, some good news from somebody, dia sponsor untuk kita buat grupa punya farm. Satu farm tu dia dalam 30K, so dia berhasrat nak sumbang 10 farm, including dia punya bibit grupa tu, grupa yang small grupa tu, benih dia. Dan satu grupa ni sudah habis dan yang sponsor ni dia sendiri akan loading dan hantar ke Hong Kong. Sebab di Hong Kong sekarang dia kertang grupa sirip kuning tu is very expensive. So sekarang saya bercita-cita 5 tahun daripada sekarang, kalau ada lagi 100 masyarakat bajau laut, I nak melihat 50 orang tu keluar daripada kemiskinan, malah boleh menjadi milioner dengan projek ni. Okay, itulah yang buat saya akan cuba bawa. Kemudian the second, somebody juga tolong, sebab bajau laut dia suka makan ubi kayu, pisang. So pisang ini kita akan bekal dan sewa tanah. Saya akan share dengan my group, akan bekal, dan orang pulau, orang-orang bajau laut akan tanam pisang dengan ubi, sebab itu memang hidup mereka. Kemudian kita akan proses menjadi krepek, kita akan pasar kepada Filipina dan juga ke Thailand. Dan kita sudah ada market sedia. Dia nak 1 bulan 1 tan. 1 tan already packing lah. So itu yang usaha. Dan sejak saya punya dokumentari keluar, saya macam tidak ada kesempatan untuk lecture sudah. Sebab terlalu ramai orang. Tapi macam saya cakap, saya tidak akan benarkan somebody to help me to broken my islands. Sebab saya nak dia bantu tanpa merosakkan ekosistem, dia punya nature, dia punya culture, especially dia punya culture. So far lah, itu saya fikir.
Okay, if I can summarize the facts that Dr. Zaimie, what he's trying to say, is all about his internal knowledge about his own society, community, and then how he translate the experience to his work. Is quite representational in many ways. So different with Mr. Chang Ming, because we know him as one of the foremost watercolorists of Southeast Asia. Because recently I was called to prepare a paper research as well, to discuss about the paper-based art, which is now being questioned about how paper-based art can be elevated as a major work rather than canvas or MDF and so forth. But we have Mr. Chang Ming to actually antithesize everything. So maybe Mr. Chang Ming can share with us his experience of enjoyment, because he told us somewhere in 2014-16, if I'm not mistaken, about his travel. If I can say that he's a traveler artist, or if I can say, so he tried to convert everything into his work. Maybe he like to share with us how his travel be, and then how art become his sole medium to talk about his experience. Maybe Chang Fei-Ming can elaborate further on that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for coming. I would like to start from how I start to paint. So as I say, with doctor, I'm really far away. I'm from to drop out. So I love painting. So I don't have much. I like to go to art school, but I don't think that time my family will not allow me to, financially not so allow me to go for that. So I luckily opposite. I starting to work with a signboard. We call kedai Atlan at that time. Signboard mean not like that. Today you just do a digital print and then you sticker. You have to be climb up to the field story to paint. You paint in the advertising in the car. Like Milo, you have to paint Milo. So that kind of thing train me as how to paint. And also you can see my painting. My color is not that academic. I put up any kind of color I would like. So that is a bit different from my experience from the art school. So I also don't really think I can be an artist, to be there. So I just that time I was probably thinking I can get 300 ringgit in the 70s, like my brother. We want Yamaha's bike. That's the type. So I start with the signboard. So opposite my brother-in-law died. So opposite that there's an island called Ming Island, called Pulau Beliong. So Pulau Beliong is a very very beautiful island, and then also a very famous boat builder. In the old days, there were a lot of foreigners coming to build a boat. So I start my academy there. So I start bring a paper and go there and draw, So just paint and make the villagers. And also they have one guest house called RV Yellow House that run by Mr. Avi with the wife Rohani Christian Longue from France. So that is the place that I start to make a traveler, to learn, sometimes I overnight there to hear what they have been travel, those who have been talking about their travel experience to Nepal, to India. That time is a bit, I think, and hippies time, so people still go Nepal to get the hassles, to get some smoke, So there's a time that from a small town boy, for me it's a fantastic story, hearing for all this story. So I learned from that how to travel, so I start my travel. My first trip we go to Nepal. So of course that time you have to go Bangkok. There's one route called Khao San route. So you have to checking the cheap ticket. That there you have to reconfirm, not like now there. So I'm probably one of the last batch of travel who using guidebook and looking for guest house. Now there I have to depend on my wife, to check the hotel, everything. So that I start my first trip in Nepal. So of course it's very exciting. So you just paint what you like, you tracking, and then you cross to India. So that was I've been spent quite a few trips there. So and I think between that I starting also learn about Indochina. That means Indochina means 3 colonial countries from French, Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam. So I was just thinking, of course between that I have been doing signboard, and then finally I teach I run my art class. That's a very good way. I got my income every end of the school holiday. I take that 2 months. I go to travel. So talking back to into China, I was starting to thinking to do a series of painting into China. Of course, before that, I had been after the art school, art class. I also starting to submit the painting to Bank Negara, you know. Sorry, it's Bank Negara because I still stick with the Bank Negara. It's a National Art Gallery because I have my last show in Bank Negara. So National Art Gallery. So that time is you exciting, you know. More in a night, you take a night bus. In the bus, you take a whole big painting, and then you arrive Pudu station. You have to carry the painting to National Art Gallery. You know Majestic Hotel. So just opposite, not far. You can carry there and submit the painting. And also you have to take up the painting back again. You know, so you have to squeeze in the. I don't know. You still have experience for the mini bus.
Yes.
The mini bus is very bad. They see I bring a big painting, they're starting to be, you know, not so happy, you know.
But that's not as bad as the artist riding a motorbike with the canvas.
So that is a passion. That's my time, you know. So talking back into China. So I starting to travel in the late. I think it's about mid of 80. I was in Cambodia still just after the war, so you have to go like Siam Reap to see Angkor Wat. You have to just take a flight in, and then afternoon you have to back. You know, you have to avoid still got a gun sound. So we have to do that. It's a safety reason. And then I was starting to meet some fun ride journalists. You know, those who are in the war journalists from Korea, Japan. So I starting know about the Mekong River. So they're talking about Mekong. So Laos, Vietnam, and Cambodia the Mekong River have been flow in these 3 countries to 7 countries in Thailand and China. So why not? I just travel up again, you know, to China, you know, from Laos, you know. So I starting to do that. I don't know, time goes so fast. 7 years have been finished that I might. So finally, Gary is asking me to, why not you turn up the show? That's my big show in that. Thanks for Petronas to giving my opportunity to have that show. So I think that's one of my lifetime achievement for my journey.
Thank you.
That I show up this 7 how the people living in Mekong from upstream to downstream, all kind of the living style of all this country until Siswang Panak, the China part. So of course this show will be also travel to National Gallery in Jakarta and also Chiang Mai University Museum. So after that, of course, my appetite is getting big. I think, where is the source of Mekong?
Okay.
So I starting to so-called research. It's not like your research PhD. Mine, you are not master. So I will start that journey. So I end up in the Snow Mountain in Tibet, in Qinghai. So I spent that another 3 years for that. I don't mean that I stayed there 3 years. So off season or winter time or summer time I go. So it's interesting. I bring my Mekong PETRONAS art so-called catalog until the Tibet to show the Tibetan in the front. I just introduce them how the river is going down Vietnam to the tropical forest to South China Sea to Nine Dragon River in Vietnam. So that's the end of my Mekong series. Of course, as just now you mentioned that most recently I used to spend a lot of time in Bali. So I starting to think about, I think Indonesia is 1,000 islands. It's all different islands, different culture, different language, even next door, different language and different textile motifs. So that is this is like what Indonesian did. So that is one of my passionate area to travel. So I don't know can be a show or not, because this is a lifetime thing. so many islands to visit. So that is my journey, what I'm doing now.
I think it's quite interesting to know that when we talk about traveling, we have the idea of searching as well. For in the case of Ming, he's talking about his interest, which is now we want him to elaborate more further on the choice of subject. How when he went to Thailand or to Indochina, for example, there's a lot of things to be drawn, but he have concentrated in particular the one that interests him most. Maybe you can elaborate more on the enjoyment and then your subject as well.
Yeah, I think subject matters. Of course, I'm using watercolor. Basically, I used to use some collage, but basically I use watercolor. I think I'm great to born in this Tanah Air. So I mean, I reared up on the Chinese family. I'm Chinese family, but I live in a very Malay area. Even I speak Bahasa very Perak, not so good. But I have a very good feeling for the Malay culture. I believe that I really can feel so much about Malay culture. Even I don't speak fluently Bahasa. That probably God give me pain, not language. So that's you see how I murder the language. So that I start. So my kind of idea of painting is very. I using a Malay fishing vessel, but mainly it's more related with Chinese kind of physiology. I mean, Chinese way don't tell you straightforward. Maybe he had the one round, you know. They don't tell you the end, you know. They let you think about. So of course that's one of my first painting that I get the award from Sendavi. I don't know whether it's called Children and You Together, the title. But I just paint a shoe of the children and in the tangga, I think stages. Yeah. So that means how they grow up. So I using another way to express the life, you know. And also same thing, I want like fishing videos. The window I just say that monsoon is gone, but they have few sarong and pillow on the outside the window. If you are in Jakarta, you know very humid. After the rain season, everybody quick want to dry up their pillow and everything. So I use that kind of way to express the time, the thing. Let's say these two painting of PETRONAS collection. Yeah. Friday is if you are here, you are Muslim, of course sure you will know that Friday they don't work, you know, even fishermen don't work. So you want to see the fishing boat beautiful line up in the beach, that is the Friday time. So of course, just now our curator was saying that the sea also very calm, you know. Yeah. The boat is lined up like a people pray. I think that not on purpose to do that. I think nature build up the kind of beauty. Nature they just happen it, and then you can turn up your story. I using my language, I would call it as a bullshit positive. This is of course you can thought you elected it, it's so beautiful, you know. Actually it's not you create it, you know. Yeah. But you found it, you say that, I would say, oh, I will create that kind of thing. I say it's not, you know. So the second one is another one is called Kat Long. If you see the display, Kat Long Balik Hari Ini. That is another way I try to expect. A way we do something, we think other thing, you know. Like right now, maybe you're sitting and listen, I'm talking. And then suddenly your mind thinking, oh, whether my daughter will be back home or not from the school. You know? So I turn up that few work of Siri. Kat Long is just like one, actually a lot of people thought it's a boy, but actually she is a girl. You know, all day in my time, the kampong girl, or sometimes not really young, where I think girl under 12, 10. They're not wedding, you know, so they just wear a sarong, just mandi in the well, you know, outside, and then want to up to the stair and washing the leg, you know. You can see you even now you still can see a kampong house with the one jar with the water, you know, to wash the feet and then go up to the so when he walk, and I think that time also a lot children have been sent even now to send to the boarding school, you know. Your katlong have your elder sister or brother have been sent to Terengganu, you stay in Dumun. So I just create one kind of moment when they wash the feet, suddenly he think katlong balik hari ini. Another painting is one boy sitting on the window and said, Pak Long jual ikan datang ke kau. That means whether he come, because every day it happen, you know.
Waiting, is
so
it?
Waiting whether he come or not. You know? So another scene I remember is another one is a fishing woman selling the fish in the beach and just thinking whether I feed my chicken or not. You see the painting, it's nothing related. I'm just talking about what he thinking, you know. And a girl sitting on the beach, the old day, when you got the fish, you just everybody just separate, you know, like very, very, very just you don't sell, you know. You take one part, I take one part. So one part from the father, the young kid will think, oh, malam ni kuah singgang. Kuah singgang is one of the very nice soup in Terengganu. Normally we use kembung, Kelantan use air. So you put some chili, asam keping and lempua. It's beautiful, fresh, you know. So of course, well, probably it's not she saying that, I'm saying it.
I think it's a good thing to know that I think Mr. Ming makes such a beautiful remarks on aesthetics, where he makes a claim that beautiful is something that artists create. Maybe we can ask Miss Sarah Vogeler to talk extensively on how does art relate to the culture, and then how different culture actually unify by the arts. I mean, we're talking about visual dialects. How can you elaborate on that?
Well, when we talk about particularly visual dialects, it's very fluid. It's actually quite fluid, yeah? And you see that, not when just now I mentioned that it's also a visual documentation in the historical sense, you also see that the show is accentuated by several poems by our own renowned poets like Latif Mohidin, Bahar Zain, we've got Zurina Hassan, Professor Dr. Siti Zainon, Khadijah Hashim, and several more. Professor Muhammad Haji Saleh also, yeah. And this further, I don't like to use the word exploit, but I prefer the word accentuate, yeah, accentuate this particular paintings. And when I say that art is fluid, it transcends everything. If you look at, in this particular context, if you look at the trishaw in Selangor and the trishaw in let's say Pahang or Langkawi, it's pretty much the same. Just it's expressed in a different manner by this artists like Muhammad Sharani and Nurhayati Muhammad Yusof, yeah? Nurhayati Muhammad Yusof. And like back to the artists from Sabah and Sarawak, like Professor Zaimie Sahibil's works, Pasak Bumi series. We didn't show it for this show, but for this particular visual dialects, but we also, Dr. Zaimie Sahibil is also quite a famous marine underwater marine artist. Again, that's two different branches of culture that's merged, that you can put together, correct, Professor Zaimie? And a lot of his works are actually very popular also.
Normally, Sarah, before my series, the now series I talk about dan the water series, masa I start buat painting lebih kurang 30 tahun yang lalu, I don't have identity. Saya nampak Latif Muhyiddin, saya ikut. Saya nampak Wang Damit, saya ikut. Satu masa, my lecturer is Hasno, Prof. Hasno Zaman Saidon. Dia cakap dengan saya lebih suka orang panggil saya cikgu. Dia kata, cikgu, nak jadi sesuatu yang berjaya, excellent, make sure you punya jati diri. You start from your jati diri, you know about the subject matter, you involve dalam subject matter. Jadi saya fikir dekat setahun, 2 tahun saya tak dapat. Patutlah satu masa saya tahu saya akan buat, saya bajau laut orang tak tahu, saya kena buat. Even my first solo exhibition in 1995, daripada 65 keping, satu saya kena beli. Sebab dalam 65 keping, you akan jumpa Chang, Ming, Muslimat Tajim, Awang Damit, Latif Muhyiddin, you jumpa semua, berhiasi kat dalam. Itu pun satu kena beli sebab Datuk Yaman kesian. Dia kata kesian. Okay, after that, saya balik, saya start develop and buat research. Saya siap buat my first degree thesis. Saya guna bajau laut sehinggalah sampai PhD. So from the research finding, so I transfer dalam bentuk painting. So sebenarnya saya bukannya nak jadi artis. My cita-cita sebenarnya nak jadi komando. So saya bekas komando Sebelum saya chop jari 20, saya belah, saya lari. So saya dicari bertahun-tahun oleh MP, military police. Kemudian saya jadi cikgu lebih kurang 16 tahun, art teacher, barulah saya masuk. So saya memang terdidik sebagai seorang anggota polis, tentera. Sebab itu karakter dia macam tentera. Sebab saya pernah bawa kereta 7 tahun. Polis tak pernah tahan, JPJ pun tak pernah tahan. Sebab karakter polis tentera tu ada. Serius, saya 7 tahun dekat Sabah, tak ada lesen. Itu pun saya punya wife dah bising. Tapi sekarang dah ada lesen dah, jangan risau. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Badro, may I just ask Ming a question? One of my favorite shows, and you've done many, was Traveler's Diary. Traveler's Diary.
Oh, the
Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah. On Traveler's Diary, on the fast-fading beauties of Southeast Asian landscape. It's quite some time ago, but could you just elaborate a little bit on that, please?
You mean the old series?
Yes. Summarize.
Traveler Diary, I think is mainly it's all my drawing and sketch that are compounds that so far I have been traveling in Southeast Asia. Of course, I mean I have of course when time gallery is hold that show. I don't even forget what year is that, you know. It's, probably it's already 2000 something. Yeah. So it's separate with a few series, culture, people working, religion. So basically, it's just a combine from all the drawing and sketch when I travel in Southeast Asia. But of course,
Do you still do that?
Huh?
No, do you still?
You mean drawing? I think I do drawing almost every day. It's kind of the practice my hand. And also drawing is for me is kind of the I don't write, so I draw. It's as I say, it's just kind of my diary. So that kind of thing I think is very meaningful to me. You know, like sometime after several years, or you go back to the diary at night. Sometimes you can go. Yes, you can read. I mean, you can fish and until morning. You know, you can see all this story, or you met who, or you saw one girl you like, you chased her, or something. All kind of thing. As it's not me. Even Khalid told me that. our late Khalid. So that kind of draw. I think drawing is very. I think nowadays, of course, of course, I still artists. Some artists doing drawing, but basically nowadays more artists going for drawing. You know. Search the thing. So it's now technology is so good. But I still believe travel drawing in touch with the theme, you feel more deep in your heart. And also this is not so much about, it's not so much about art or not, it's your life. Your life have been composed, all this kind of thing in your heart. I think it's beautiful.
Mr. Fiming, if I may ask you one question, maybe another question as well. So I still remember in the 80s or early 90s, you did send one work to National Art Gallery, which is completely different from what you've been doing until now, in which I think that work won you Young Contemporary, I suppose. And then you use the color tube,
Yes.
and you arrange in such a way. So maybe if I think the public also want to share, I want to know as well, because that work is won the prize for at National Gallery. How you shift yourself from the realism to something abstract, for example?
Okay. That is, I think a lot of artists from the traditional go contemporary. I'm the contemporary back to back to. I used to be starting with scenery painting, watercolor. Yeah. Of course, I must say I'm a bit kiasu or kind of ego, because that time National Art Gallery showing painting more is like, all contemporary. I always feel like not so happy because my name behind Chang Master of Art or what, I want to do it. So it's kind of I start with that. After that, of course, I enjoy it.
Okay.
Like my first one is Mahathir, first time go to visit China, So I use a kind of what you call that, for weaving the fishing net, the needle, kind of the needle, wooden, made by the traditional made by bamboo. Of course, now they make by plastic. So I use two sides of this needle with the fishing net line. The title called Court of Friendship. That means the China and Malaysia after the communism thing, this and thing, and then I think Tun Najat is the one who start to go to visit China, and then coming on Mahathir. So it's kind of it's just like a fishing net. Somebody need to Becky, to when they break the hata, you have to go back. So that kind of meaning, And of course, inside I use a newspaper collage to collage all the scene that Dr. Mahathir have been received. So that is my first. So of course I feel, I can do that. So my second is a Court of Friendship with this set. It's happened in Terengganu, just after the Vietnam War. So many refugees have been all the way taking a boat. So they stop a lot standing to our very famous island for the refugee called Bidong Island. So there one away sometime in the monsoon season when they come up. Sometimes because our river mouth and seas is very, sometimes the sand when the monsoon, so the boat will be stuck, So there have some Vietnam boat have been stuck. So that is one case I saw by my eyes. So I think must be 30 over people have been drowned in the sea. So the second day, a lot of body have been in the beach. So I have a friend, a journalist, has taken all these photos. I using all these photos to put in to my work as a collage. And that time is a United Nations, I think United Nations have an exhibition title called Shelter for the Homeless. Yeah. So for me, my title is Homeless at Last. So their homeless at last is all this cemetery in Terengganu. You still can see all this body they're going, nobody take it. So they put unknown. So I have been combining my drawing with the collage with that. That's my second Young Contemporary Award. I think you mentioned is another one is I call Negaraku. I use all this color tip that I'm Chinese, I don't waste it. I use all this color to make as a people to line up, to stand up, and then with one national flag. So that was, I think, somewhere in the open show of the
Yeah. And then the reason why I asked the question about this, I mean, Sarah already triggered one swift statement about 60% of the component of the works talking about rural area, talking about everyday life. Yeah, so something that the artists do some kind of a visual statements rather than do some writing statements. Yeah, so is it intentionally or is it caught by surprise? Is it what? I mean, how does that 60% actually become the major exhibit for this exhibition? I think maybe you can explain on that.
Well, we started out with over 700 works to select from, and we had a working theme. But as we looked at more and more of the paintings involved, and of course from PETRONAS's own permanent collection, which started back in the 70s, I believe it's 1974, I think I wouldn't say it's an accident, but if it was an accident, it was a very happy accident. As you say, that these are scenes from rural areas, but there are also scenes from contemporary times here. So, but if you really look at it, again, a happy coincidence, a happy accident, but also it's somehow merged together to become what it has, what you see today. You know, what you see today. So something that is archetypal or ordinary through visual dialects suddenly become extraordinary, yeah, because of the way they are merged together. Like for instance, I'll go back to Dr. Zaimie's works for the Pasak Bumi series. Dr. Zaimie, I don't think many of you here are aware that his grandfather was a master at making wow, yeah, and his grandmother was a master weaver, and she used to mix her own color pigments. You know, that she used to mix her own color pigments. And Dr. Zaimie shared with me that it took him many, many years to actually master that particular recipe from his grandmother, and he finally succeeded. So what you see in Pasak Bumi series and in his consecutive work are actually pigments that he had mixed himself. Again, a component of his very Bajau Laut influence. Yeah, Dr. Zaimie?
Ya, saya orang susah. Bila saya study, saya tak ada duit nak beli color. Even one my drawing, masa saya first degree, that time my lecturer is a Fauzan Omar. So dia suruh saya buat drawing. I have money to buy the charcoal, and I sit in the cafe fikir macam mana nak beli compressed charcoal. And then in my front, I see the kicap. So I use kicap for the buat drawing. And then drawing itu Prof Fauzan ambil sampai sekarang lah. So I talk about my painting sekarang, acrylic. For promotion, ya, sebab Sabah, dia acrylic is very expensive. Art material is very expensive. Even the acrylic, this 200 ml tu, yang paling murah, Mary's, dalam around 18 to 25 ringgit. So tidak mungkin, sebab my techniques is not paint something like you use brush. Saya gunakan konsep ranges. So lebih banyak di tanah daripada di canvas. Jadi what they're doing, my family, even I can make boat, I can make house. My family a lot tukang rumah, tukang perahu. So hari-hari saya nampak cat. After that I use bitumen, because bitumen Badrolhisham use for the sumbat itu lubang perahu. Tapi I start making my painting buat gunakan bitumen. Sekarang popular, saya sudah buat. Even saya start buat underwater painting. Sebenarnya saya lebih dulu daripada Aziz. Cuma saya Saya panggil dia Haji Selandun sebab saya terlalu rapat dengan dia. Tapi sayang, dia sebenarnya nak jumpa arwah bapa saya. Seminggu sebelum dia datang Sabah, arwah bapa saya dah meninggal. Sebab dia nak study ilmu senafas. Sebab my father not use gas. Dia can diving 15 to 25 minutes dalam dasar laut. Ya. Jadi saya punya color, saya terpaksa daripada kekurangan. I believe daripada kekurangan itu akan terbit satu. Talk is a creative. So kita boleh berfikir secara kreatif. Maka sekarang saya tidak pernah beli acrylic. Saya study, saya punya mom punya color untuk buat weaving dia, pandan tu. And then I study macam mana dia boleh jadi acrylic. So saya mengecat rumah, saya tersilap beli cat. Cat juton saya tersilap beli. Yang saya terbeli is not color but dia punya paste. And then paste acrylic, dia ada paste CBNA. Jadi saya tengok, macam okey. Saya mix dengan saya punya mom punya pigment tadi, Pix. And then saya study, saya siram, saya tengok bertahun-tahun dia luntur atau tidak. Kemudian bila saya travel to New Zealand, minta maaf lah bajau laut kali ni tak travel by laut, by flight ya. Travel pergi New Zealand, my click. Dia buat terpelin printing . So dia punya color tu yang saya guna sampai sekarang untuk buat saya punya painting. And then orang selalu, yang kedua, saya dapat support my student. Saya akan beli semua material, saya akan buat. So saya akan cari yang tapawai kecil buat puding-puding tu, yang tinggi-tinggi tu kan. So saya akan buat warna sendiri buat. So rumah saya macam puding lah. Sebab di Sabah mahal, so saya jual dengan student saya package. 3 color RM5. Sebab kalau dia beli 3 color dekat kedai lebih kurang RM60. Saya nak cover beli tu balik tu tapawai aja. Tak ada untung. So di situlah sebenarnya color saya sampai sekarang saya buat color. So di rumah saya memang akan banyak apa jenis paste. It's not just juton, tapi dia ada tulis itu paste acrylic. Dia cair macam selek. Dia macam selek betul. Dan kita kena pandai carilah, dia ada tulis 90% acrylic. Kadang-kadang ada yang tipu juga. Dia kata acrylic, you baca dia punya ingredient hanya 25 acrylic. So bila you paint dia crack. So dia punya moral of the story macam cerita kartun moral of the story yang saya nampak lah dari pengalaman hidup, kekurangan itu menjadikan kita lebih kreatif. Saya punya color register by Sirim. Cuma saya tidak minta diprodukkan. Nanti susah saya buat painting nanti.
Okay, we have heard the panelists about their inspiration, about their journey, everything. So we have another 20 minutes to open to the floor for question and answers. I believe that this meet the artist session is not just meet the eye and then give the book and then they sign it. So now is the best time for you guys to actually more in-depth, personal question about what you feel about his work, and then you want to know fresh from the artist what is the idea behind what your puzzlement. Okay. Okay, I open the question to the floor.
From the start sampai finish, then can do a series. How long does it take to finish a series? Kadang-kadang kita tak tahu, kadang-kadang sebulan, kadang-kadang setahun. And then how long do you take to finish one painting? Okay. And from the start to finish, do you at the end do an exhibition, or how do you sell it in between, or what happens?
Painting yang pertama diterbitkan the series. Waktu itu saya belum decide untuk present my identity. saya buat siri lama-lama. Yang betul-betul saya concentrate ialah siri Jerome. Siri Jerome saya buat yang pertama pada tahun 1999 dan belum stop, belum saya close lagi. Saya belum close series, saya masih buat. Okay, dan the first exhibition dia di Ketun Cafe. Di Ketun Cafe, this time my student orang beli 25K. Tapi dia suruh saya buat dekat pub dia, tak apalah. Saya buat dekat pub, kalau dia bayar duit, lepas habis saya pulang. Okay, saya punya series ya. Saya lepas siri Jerome, atau finish siri Jerome dan siri Pasak Kuning. Siri Pasak Kuning yang latest pun ada 2018. Satu siri saya tidak akan tutup selagi dia masih ada orang berminat. So berarti yang paling tua ialah siri Jerome, sudah 20 tahun lebih. Okey, proses dia. Saya di Sabah, jika saya habis tadi, saya dianggap sebagai bila balik ke Sabah sebagai malapetaka. Tidak kasar ya malapetaka. Because bila saya balik, saya dah mula ke size painting besar dengan modern art, dengan acrylic. Sabah this time dia masih lagi mengagungkan watercolor. Watercolor tak apalah, tapi dia punya scene based on Sabahan. You jangan heran dia tengok artis ke masa tu, dia tengok ada Ming Yayasan Sabah Building, Rapisia, nak pentas, bergerak, semua tu. Jadi bila saya balik, saya buat new painting, saya buat solo. Saya punya konsep tak beli pun tak apa. Okay, selepas siri itu, saya dah mula create my identity. Lebih kurang 15 tahun yang lalu, saya buat siri pollution series. Satu painting, saya tidak akan buat painting kalau saya ada canvas satu. Saya mesti ada canvas lebih daripada 100 keping. Sebab saya perlu menghasilkan canvas every year, mesti ada 300 keping setahun. Okey, saya punya painting memang sangat cepat dibuat. Even dia punya fish, I can do dalam 30 minutes. Cuma yang challenging dekat situ, dia buat dia punya background. Dia punya background macam saya, tak apalah, I share. Saya confirm memang tak boleh tiru. Saya buat saya punya painting start from pukul 12 malam. Sebab ini dia agak scientific method sikit. Saya punya merenjis, sebab bila kita renjis, color dia akan berketul. So bila kita buat panas, itu panas dia akan crack. Jadi kalau buat malam, dia dry nature secara semula jadi. Okay, dan proses dia dalam kesempatan ini punya siri 2007 punya siri yang pasal ini. Jadi saya akan menghasilkan background ni per bulan. Satu siri 100 keping saya perlu menghasilkan dalam 3 bulan. Background saja. 3 bulan tidak tidur. Walaupun malam Jumaat isteri dan lawa pun tak. So lepas 100 keping, baru saya save dan saya akan mula play saya punya GoPro. Saya punya GoPro saya akan bawa pergi pulau. Mana yang saya boleh menyelam, my level lah. Orang punya level pada laut sampai jalan kaki di bawah. So saya bagi ke GoPro pegang ke punya kepala. Buat saya save, angkat, tolong cari grupa ni, follow je grupa tu. Kemudian dia buat cari semua. And then bila I start painting, I just put in my laptop. Kalau saya tengok dia punya movement tu, nanti saya post je lah, saya start draw. So, proses painting saya yang sekarang, macam sekarang I dah burn 3 hari dekat KL. Sebab saya setiap malam menghasilkan painting. Every night I do my painting. So, I ada hutang lah sekarang. I ada buat balik lah. Macam example, I fly from KK 7 malam sampai KK dalam jam 10, sampai rumah jam 11, pukul 12 saya buat painting. Sebab that's my commitment to my community. Sebab kalau saya tidak buat painting, saya tak boleh bantu saya punya community. Jadi kalau saya buat this year, sebab this year saya hanya mampu buat 200 keping, tapi saya ada perbulan saya bayar November. Berapa sekali?
Painting tu sekali buat 5 at one time, satu. Background dia sekali.
All, how many?
Sekali buat 20 keping, 20 sekali. So kalau musim hujan tak boleh banyak. Sebab dia
Macam nelayan.
dia nelayan lah. Dan dia ada pigment yang daripada nature pigment. My mom dia buat macam green dia pakai dia mix by daun pandan. Maroon or red dia pakai kulit bakau. Betul, kita akan mix. And then saya minta daripada apa ni jabatan ilmiah tentukan dia boleh tidak semua okey. Sebab baju orang boleh vertikal. And then sudah siap semua. Dia ada satu pigment yang kita kena bentuk dia. Kena bentuk sebab kalau dia supaya masukkan dalam painting. Itu yang take time lah. Soal buat ikan, ayam anak Badrolhisham Tahir makan ikan, I boleh bagi scientific name. Kalau berupa series, kat Borneo ada 1,100 species. Daripada sand berupa sampai di middle berupa kertang yang warna kuning. Semua spesies ikan daripada species berupa. Saya perlu tahu dalam scientific, kalau tak saya malu lah sebagai bajau laut kan. Okay, itulah yang saya punya. Tapi saya untuk kebetulan, scene di Semenanjung saya tidak berapa terdedah. Cuma saya pula terdedah di Kuala Lumpur bila saya jadi board of director selama 6 tahun untuk National Academy. Bukannya saya nak tak sombong tak nak bekerja di Semenanjung. Di pasal logistik kos sangat tinggi. So daripada saya bawa ke Semenanjung, baru saya bawa pergi Korea, pergi Dubai kan. So saya banyak directly. Dan Sabah Sarawak juga macam berapa SPKB semua sudah disetujui semua dalam keluar Semenanjung. Itulah cerita.
Okey, ada satu jam. Okay.
Sorry. I just want to ask both of you, first of all, thank you for this inspirational talk about your art. When you are drawing or where you are painting, there are two things, right? You are painting because you feel it. As Ming was saying, you need to feel what you're painting so that it translates into a beautiful output. But at the same time, do you look at what the collectors want when you are thinking about your art, or do you let yourself just be driven by what you feel?
Okay.
Ni.
I don't like commission painting especially. Saya buat painting. I doing my artwork. I am not prepare my thing to somebody of my collector. But so far, my collector a lot from Singapore, Dubai. You know about me because it's not a collector from Singapore. It is guys. They're doing interior design for the hotel around the world. And then one time, they come to Sabah to start put painting in the very famous hotel in Kota Kinabalu. Yeah, there's Rasaria Resort. So they need painting 4 meters by 1.5 meters. So they go to the Sabah Art Gallery. They asked director that time, Dato' Yaman, where can I find the biggest painting? Just simple, go to Zaimie house. And then the first time they come to my house, these guys, and then my painting I already scroll. Just come to my home, and then Zaimie, I want to this, I want to this, I want to this, I want to this. I don't believe they can buy my painting, you know. It is my thing. And then they call the accountant, the collect. So this time they give me around 175K. I am still not believe this money. Because no somebody to buy this painting. So my life changed after that. Because I am very poor, I am study, I doing a lot money, pinjam duit sana, pinjam sini. No, only one wife. After the buyer back to the Singapore, and then this time I have my second daughter. They don't know about the money, and then I asked to my daughter, "Don't tell to your mom." So that's money they're doing by Sing dollar, you know. So 160 compared to Malaysian around 300,000. So saya tak tahu. That time I baru dalam early 30-an. I go to Kota Kinabalu And I go to the money changer. I bring the Sing dollar yang besar warna orange tu, yang 100 tu. Go to the money changers. And then the money changers dia punya ais besar macam ni. Tengok. And then dia said to me, dia kata, you ada bakul. What I doing? I cari, I dapat yang beg plastik hitam. Kita beli sayur kan, gitu ya. And then I balik rumah. Again, I tell to my daughter, don't tell to your mama. Lepas itu, I kekelet, my hutang. I rasa macam 1 ton stone in my kepala hilang. Saya rasa dunia betul-betul ringan. And then from there's a lot of money, I hanya dapat dalam 20,000. Tapi saya dapat beli satu my Hilux. Sebab Hilux saya perlu untuk saya angkat ni. Sejak daripada hari itu, I tidak pernah peduli, I tidak pernah minta commission painting. I don't like a commission and I don't like a collector. If you come to my home, my studio, want to buy, you buy. Sebab I know somebody come to my home, even in the middle night, especially politician people. Last minute, no have a souvenir to the minister, they come to my home. And then what they're doing, I know they come to my home, they use Mercedes Brabus or Velfire. And then they come, Zaimie tolonglah kakak, bagilah painting di 500. This painting is 50,000 tau. Saya kata takkan kereta besar tak boleh beli painting ada yang 3,000 ke 4,000. Dia paksa juga, okay. Tidak boleh beli satu sebab I create some reason. Tapi ini liar sikit lah, bohong lah. Saya kata bajau laut tak boleh beli satu, kena beli 5. So, what you answer, so far I have a collector around Asian. So they come to my studio 2 times a year to collect my painting. They select painting. They select. But I prepare. Even they come here to my studio, just collect 10 or 5. But I'm an artist. I can prepare for that to 300 pieces. So available, they can choose anything. So I have a 3-person collector, one from Hong Kong, but this person is not a lawyer. One from Dubai. Dubai is kalau cikgu lah, kalau sini cikgu lah, tapi cikgu kaya lah. Sebab dia punya rumah di Dubai, dia ada rumput. Sebab kalau kat Dubai, kita jumpa rumah dia ada rumput dah, dia banyak duit dah. Sebab rumput tak tumbuh. So itu saya punya reason, because I don't have anybody, I just painting, just a 3 collector so far, exactly every year come to my home, but a lot people come to my home to buy, but I want to very selected. Some person, because they come to my home, they want to discount more than 95%, only 5% they pay. So thank you very much.
Maybe Mr. Ming want to add more on to the question. Is there any restriction for you to do in relation to the collectors?
I share everything. But of course, artist is difficult. You know?
Yeah.
So I mean, everybody have an experience. Of course, my first painting started in National Art Gallery. I sold my paintings 250 ringgit. I can jump until the sky with the check.
Okay.
Visit that. Of course, it's the same thing. I don't do project commercial work, but of course, you're talking about series. As you say, series. I'm not talking about one series for one show. Like, okay, I have a period like scenery series that my early day. Second series is like a window series, I call window and batik series. Yeah. Okay. So I'm talking about series, and then of course after that I do a half-figure series. I doesn't mean that I don't paint this anymore. I just said that the series will be, of course, half series is my lifetime because it's already my kind of trademark. But of course, I add in other issues like I'm more talking about culture, but now because of last few years, the politics situation, I hint a lot politics issue inside. So that is my half figure must be, this series I think is my lifetime, you know. So I have monk series. So I would say that monk series, let's say I do one monk series called Mandalay in Jakarta. This in that show, but I still do monk too, but not as a series anymore. I don't call series anymore. Once in a while, you have something coming, you do it, you know. But you not continue do it, you know. So that's my way, you know. So I cannot say that is, you can say that it's monk series, but it's not in that series of exhibition. Yeah, that's my, of course, basically I don't compare with doctor. I'm not that productive. Sometimes I can beat myself to work because Terengganu is such a relaxed place. you walk also slower. So I used to do 12 work a year, but now I think about 6. But of course I do a lot. Doesn't mean that I don't do other things. I do drawing, you know, small work, you know. So that's the way. I mean, every artist has their way to run. And also, we cannot say that artist doing too much or whatever. Because artists, they expect, like doctor, she expects, she like to paint. She can paint. One day you want to paint 100, is his problem. Yeah, I mean, some people say, somebody will complain, say that, oh, the artist done too much. It's not, you know. But of course, that's the most important thing. If you want to represent this painting to the art market, you have to be careful, you know, what you want to. You can paint any kind of thing, but you cannot say that you put up everything, you know, A to Z in the show. That is more, I'm more talking about kind of the exhibition or business strategy. You want to present your art. You want to present. You cannot put up too many things to make people confused, you see. So, but you like to paint, you just paint. You know, you cannot say that, oh, I should paint 5 to control the mark, do this, do. It's not, you know, because that's your heart, you know. But of course, yeah, the most important thing is when you want to present in the exhibition or what, you have to careful, because that is a different story already, you know. We have to accept that kind of I don't know, you call business or idea or commercial idea.
You are self-taught and full-time artist.
I consider I'm full-time, yeah.
And your main source of income is basically from your art.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, comparatively with Dr. Zaimie. Dr. Zaimie is a professor.
Yeah. That's why he's safe.
Gaji bulan-bulan.
Tapi dia contribute untuk bajaw. He have so many people depend on him.
You have myself.
Yeah, you have to take care of the bajaw.
I thought Dr. Zaimie would not have any problem, talking about money. And when you have no money problem, you can, focus on your painting. Whereas you kena cari makan, you have to paint to
Yeah.
But maybe now you are.
Yeah, as I say, I'm. Yeah.
You have all the money.
I don't say all the money.
Saya rasakan Ming. Saya rasa saya bukan lecturer, tapi saya rasa saya macam full time artist. Saya rasa macam full time artist.
No. I don't say money. I don't say I don't need money. I need money. The more money, I know how to use it. because my routine every day. My routine every day. Saya kan buat painting daripada jam 10 sampai 12, and I bangun balik pukul 2 pagi sampai pergi sembahyang subuh. And then saya making breakfast for my daughter and my wife, and for me, my lunch box, and I pergi office around 5 or 6. Saya masuk office, saya tidur. Yes.
Habis VC cari kau.
I'm talking back just
and
now.
Then before it, I wake up, I open my office because I have a program. So a lot of students and lecturer come to me. And then lunchtime, I tak keluar. Sebab I lunch box, I tidur lagi balik.
Wow. Okay. Any one last question, lepas tu kita tutup. Okay.
Hi, good afternoon. I just want to say this. It's really a privilege to learn about your art and your story. And I realized you put a lot of heart and soul into creating your art pieces. And I want to know, why does art matters to you so much? Are you doing it for the money or for the passion, and why it matters to you so much? Yeah, thank you.
5 ayat je 5 perkataan je.
Money is king, cash is king. No. My heart, I cannot stop doing painting. Even I start, especially my studio, my home studio, my canvas is something like an art shop. So bila saya tengok canvas dengan color, saya buat painting. So normally lah, example if ada, I doing satu, dalam year sudah ada 365 keping. Saya buat painting, normally it's not for money. But sekarang mungkin sudah ada orang bagi perhatian, so I guna kesempatan ini untuk membantu my community. Even my concept is very simple. Kita hidup 60 tahun. Okay, sekarang dah 50. Takkan saya dah kumpul duit lagi? Itu tidak. 50 tahun. Gaji sudah cukup, tak apalah. Tapi kalau kata nak cari duit, betul. Tapi it's not for me. Okay, I get the money. I agree with you. Memang saya buat painting, siapa tak nak jual painting, betul tak? Tapi at the same time, kita tengok dia punya kegunaan lah. So, lebih daripada 20 perkataan. So that's it. Thank you very much for the question.
Mr. Ming?
As me, I think we all need money. Without money, we can. You're hungry, you have to eat. So, but take what you can take. I say take what you can take. Don't take what you cannot take. That means out or beyond, you step up that limit that you cannot. Let's say you can paint one painting today, you can earn that much. You're not going to paint 2 paintings. That means you already lose your soul. I mean, you can just paint 1 painting, to sell 1 painting. Your energy or everything, so you just take that much you can. If you greedy, that's a guilty apple. If you take that guilty apple, you will be spoiled. That means you will become commercial. So for me, I'm not going to say that I paint for pleasure, for art. I paint for life too, for my pride, really. But I take what I can. That's my.
I think if we can really summarize what the artists have been talking about, this the value of money, if we can talk about the hierarchy of needs, according to the artist, they may be, for the first stage, recognition is number 1, and then come the money. So like Dr. Zaimie, dia dah duit banyak, so he don't need money anymore. Okay, for the last bit, I would like to let Sarah Vogeler to actually give few remarks about 1-2 minutes, and then we wrap off. Thank you.
I do, on a certain level, find it, to use the word, disturbing that when you want to mount a successful show, it's got to have a particular theme that screams, that screams. And with a show like Visual Dialects, because it's very subtle, it's very subtle, and it's quixotic, which is another word for romantic, and filled with subtleness, that instead of blaring out a statement, it makes a statement without even having to try. So please do visit the show and have a look, and if you have any further questions, I'm around. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here today.
Okay. For that note, I would like to extend on behalf of management of Gallery PETRONAS, thank you to everybody for supporting all this while. Whatever we have exhibition here, and then of course the supporting program. we thought that without your support, I think we cannot really achieve what we are now. So let's continue support us, and then if you have any suggestion, you feel free to actually write it to the management, and then we can have a discussion on that. So with that note, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.